Now, as you guys know, I'm doing this on my own. I am with the Built in Buffalo team. We do our shows all week. We have a podcast network. We have merch, all of which you can find on the Buffalo or Built in Buffalo channel. The next team on the docket is my Buffalo Bills. Let's go Bills! Now, this offseason, the Buffalo Bills, we lost some players. We lost John Brown to the Raiders. We actually cut him and then signed Emmanuel Sanders instead. So to me, that's an upgrade at the position, mostly because of the route running and the fewer injuries. I love John Brown. He's one of my favorite wide receivers that we've had the last few years, but he's been injured often enough. So it was time for him to go. We also cut Quentin Jefferson for salary cap reasons, and he went to the Raiders too. So the Raiders got two good ones. He played out of position for us because Starlo Tele was gone, but good luck to him. He has had some choice words about Buffalo, but not because of the people or because of the coaches or anything like that, but because of the position he had to play. We also lost Ty Nsekhe to the Cowboys. He's like a 36, 37-year-old swing tackle, and he's going home. So, good luck to him. We lost Tyler Croft. We let him go. His contract was up. We didn't re-sign him. He went to the Jets. So screw that guy because now he's a Jet. And no. Then we signed Jacob Hollister from the Seahawks. We signed Matt Breida from the Dolphins. We signed Forrest Lamp, left guard, from the Chargers, which is good for us because we needed competition for our guys. We were able to retain Ike Boettger. We were able to retain John Feliciano. And we were able to retain Darrell Williams. So our offensive line last year was a big jumble. They really didn't have any continuity because people getting hurt, people getting cut, people being benched like Brian Winters and Quentin Spain, who was cut and benched. Eventually Cody Ford made his way to left guard, but then he got hurt. Ike Boettger took over. That's after Quentin Spain was cut. So we had three different guys play that spot. We had Morris and Feliciano rotated at center after Morris got hurt and Feliciano came back. And then at right guard, we had Ford play there. We had Feliciano play there. We had Brian Winters play there. It was just a mess. There was no continuity on the middle. And now those guys are all healthy, and we retained all three. Three of the four guys who started those positions. So Williams will start at tackle. And you have Feliciano and Boettger come back. Ford is the projected starter at left guard. And Morse is projected to start at center. Right? So you bring in Forrest Lamp to compete. He played all 16 games last year, which is his first year playing all 16 games for the Chargers. He played very well. So he is really a threat to our left guard and right guard positions, collectively. And Feliciano can play center, so he could also be a threat to our center. If Feliciano goes out there and smokes him and takes that job, we haven't skipped much of a beat with Feliciano. Now, I don't want to say that Feliciano is a better center than Morris because I think that would be incorrect projection, but at run blocking, he's definitely better. And we couldn't run the ball last year to save our lives. So you just never know. You never know. It could turn out that way. So Forrest Lamp came in to compete. We lost beloved Dean Marlowe, our backup safety to the Lions. Good luck to him out there. He deserved to play. He's played well for us, and he earned himself a job. We lost T.J. Yeldon. We just didn't re-sign him. He set the bench most of his 2 years. I predicted before that season was over. I think it was 2018 season where he was going to be a free agent from the Jaguars. And after the season, right after the season, before free agency started, I said the Bills are going to sign him. And they did. But then they drafted Singletary, and that was a wrap. The Bills also picked up linebacker Tyrell Adams from the Texans, who is a solid linebacker. He's more of a depth piece, I think. Also retained Jake Kumaro. He came back to us last season. It says the Saints, but he was with us at the end. And then F.A. Obata, Englishman, defensive end, from the Panthers. He had 5.5 sacks last year, which is the same as our leading pass rushers this year. So, good on him. We also brought in Jamil Douglas from the Titans, who's a guard. He's going to be a depth piece if he makes the team. And then we lost our punter, Corey Bohorquez, to the Rams, and linebacker Delshon Phillips to the Jets, who was on injured reserve this year, and he was kind of an undrafted free agent, and he wasn't guaranteed anything anyway. Solid player, though, for where he was picked, but that's our free agency in a nutshell. Good, competition in some places, and a lot of value because the Bills didn't have a lot of cap space because the cap went down. They weren't expecting that. They were expecting to have $50 million in cap, between $35 and $50 million, and well, they had like 10, and they had to make room by restructuring some contracts like Trey White. They still can. If, Deion Dawkins and, other players are looking to do so, then that can be done. Now, our draft picks. First overall was Gregory Rousseau. Now, the Bills' pass rush last year was good at creating pressure, but terrible at finishing the play. We didn't get a lot of sacks. So, first pick was Gregory Rousseau, defensive end out of Miami. Very raw player, but very talented. He only played 1 year, he had 15 sacks, half of which were coverage sacks. Then, next year, the next player we took was Carlos Basham Jr., defensive end out of Wake Forest, who, as a college player, played all of his time at defensive end, was a very good producer, but his ceiling is lower than Rousseau's. Rousseau has a higher ceiling, but he's much more raw, so his floor is lower. Whereas kind of what you're getting with Basham. He's kind of that mid-tier pass rusher. He could shine. He could be better, but as of right now, he's projected to be a mid-tier guy, so we have to go with the projections. Then you have Spencer Brown, offensive lineman out of Northern Iowa. Now, he was a third-round pick. Some people had him going in the fourth. Some people had him going in the late second. Most people had him in the late third, early fourth. Now, Iowa produces offensive linemen, the Hawkeyes and I guess Northern Iowa. He is a big boy, 315 pounds, 6'8", I believe, huge wingspan, very athletic, scored a 10 on the Razzie. The kid can play, and he's physical, but he's also going to be behind two, stud offensive tackles. So he's most likely our swing tackle going forward. Then Tommy Doyle, offensive lineman out of Miami. He's also a tackle. He's going to struggle to make this team. He may be a practice squad guy, but he may be a second tackle that we keep. Ryan Bates might be moved into, guard. Ryan Bates can play all the positions on the line. He's just not great at any of them, but he's good enough to fill in. So, his spot might be in jeopardy at the outside, but on the inside, he might be able to compete. But I think that Ryan Bates' time in Buffalo is over. Then, in the 6th round, they take Marquez Stevenson. It's either Marquez or Marquez. I'd say Marquez because I'm Spanish and it's spelled Marquez, like Marquez. So Marquez Stevenson out of Houston, wide receiver. He is a speedster, very raw, skill-wise, technique-wise, but he's a speedster. Probably more likely a slot guy, but he's bigger than Cole Beasley. He's bigger than Isaiah McKenzie, but he's going to be more competition for them than anybody else. Now, at defensive back, safety, is DeMar Hamlin. Now, he's more likely here to replace Dean Marlowe. He's a good safety, good instincts. He played at Pitt with our own Dane Jackson, who looks like he's going to be competing for the starting job. You never know, because you never know if you're going to bring somebody in off the free agency market like Richard Sherman, who's out there, depending on if his number's low enough. We're bargain bin shopping right now because our cap is, again, low. Now, they also brought in Rashad Wildgoose from Wisconsin, cornerback, to go out there and compete. Our number 2 cornerback spot is up for grabs, and he might be more of a slot or outside. I'm not positive. I didn't get to watch a lot of Wisconsin tape, but he projects well, most likely to the practice squad, but you never know. He might make the roster. Saron Neal is on the last year of his deal. It may be cheaper to keep Wildgoose. I don't know what their plan is, but solid pickup in the 6th round. And then in the last round, they picked up Jack Anderson, offensive lineman, Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech isn't really known for producing great NFL players, but Mahomes came from there, so what do we know, right? Right. I don't see him making the team. I see him being a practice squad guy. The Bills do love their draft picks, so we'll see, and he might surprise. Every player drafted by every team might surprise. So I don't want to paint anybody with a bad brush. But overall, I didn't really like the Bills' draft at first, but it did grow on me, knowing that we needed pass rush, and we addressed it. We needed offensive linemen, and we addressed it. We needed a speedy receiver. We went and got it. We needed a safety. We went and got it. We needed corner help. We went and got it. We needed, guard help, competition at least, and we went and got it. So we went and got guys to come in here and compete at every level of the game, whether it was free agency or if it was in the draft, and I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm glad. Let's go, Bills. Next team will be up soon.